Good morning, dear students. This is Manikya Rao, lecturer in economics, working at APRJC, Tatipudi. How are you all? Once again, I welcome you all for today online class. So, as we have completed third chapter and entered into fourth chapter, in previous we have started introduction part and also what is the importance of or significance or role of Indian agriculture sector, how Indian agriculture sector is working, how it is performing, and what is the present condition of agriculture sector in India. All those things that we have discussed in previous class. Now we are going to discuss about another important topic in the same chapter, that is agriculture sector, that is features of Indian agriculture. Features. What is the features of fish which is moving into the water? Always fish is moving into flowing water, and it can swim. Sometimes it is very slow, sometimes it is fast. Some fishes they may be black, some fishes they may be white. So always they need sufficient water. If it is a good water, certain fishes they may live long life. If the water is contaminated, certain fishes they may die. So that is the feature of Indian fish. At the same time, what is the features of dog? Dog is always, it looks very smart in when it is a small one. Everybody it likes very well. Even dogs also they have different colors. Okay, sometimes they may angry, sometimes it may bark. So everybody likes very much that dogs. So that dog nature is always it is barking. If new people enter, it barks. The color size is different. They can smell immediately. Whenever new people comes, it is immediately it can guess. It can start barking. So that is the feature of dogs. At the same time, here also, what is the features of Indian agriculture? How Indian agriculture is performing during the British period and at the time of independence and even now. So, what is the paradigm shift or what are the changes that are taken place in our Indian agriculture sector? So, that we are going to discuss in this chapter, especially in this topic. So generally, when it comes to the features of Indian agriculture, the followings are the main features of Indian agriculture. Main features. So this question it may be for 5 marks. Features of Indian agriculture. So first one is uncertainty in crop output. Uncertainty. Generally, in agriculture sector, the output when it comes to the hands of agriculture farmers, it has passed through different stages from sowing of seed to harvesting. After completion of harvesting, that particular product it coming to the hands of agriculture farmers. So generally uncertainty in crop output. Why it is happening? Why? What is the uncertainty? Generally, as we have seen that monsoons and the climatic conditions are very often it has been changing when it comes to the agriculture sector. Agriculture sector. Monsoon and climatic conditions plays an important role for the production. For the production. Even in that situation, agriculture sector very often affects adversely because uncertainty of rain. There is no sufficient rain sometimes. Sometimes there is an abundant rain, floods. It lead to crops damage. If there is no rain, crops may failure. So that two things very often it affects the agricultural product adversely. Moreover, floods and droughts and quite common in Indian agriculture sector. Drought and famine. These two are very common. So hence Indian agriculture is rightly called to be that is it is depends on monsoons. Rightly it will be called as gambling on monsoon. Gambling on monsoon. There is no certainty of agricultural products. We cannot predict even before 1 month. Harvesting is very good. It is coming into my hand. Agriculture farmers they may think that, but suddenly if there is a rain, it comes. Agriculture farmers all dreams will collapse. So there is no certainty. If crops it come into the hands of the agriculture farmers, if the prices are low, it is coming down. Whatever the farmers they expected, if the prices are low for the agricultural commodities. Even that time also, agriculture farmers they cannot happy. Uncertainty. Agriculture sector is always uncertain sector. There is no certainty as like industry, as like service sector. So it is uncertainty in crop output because of monsoon and climatic conditions are very much play role. Okay, this is first thing. Then coming to second one is feudal relation of agriculture sector. Feudal relation. Feudal relation, as we have seen that that is after independence. After independence in India, Jamindari system, Mahalwari system have been abolished. Jamindari system, Mahalwari system, these two systems have been abolished. These two systems have been introduced in the British period. But after independence, these two are abolished. Raitwari system came into existence. Okay, under that two, that is Jamindari and Mahalwari system, tenants they have no uh, security of tenant. There is no regulation on rent. Regulation on rent. So there is no ownership rights to the tenants. So these are the situations where Zamindari system and Mahalwari system are prevailed. But tenant farmers they don't have any rights, security rights, or ownership rights, or anything. They have been neglected. They have been neglected because of feudalistic nature. Feudalistic relation it has been dominated to our Indian agriculture. Jamindari, Mahalwari system, even Jagirdari system, Raitwari system, all these systems not implemented by Indian. It is implemented by Britishers for their own interest. For their own interest. Because all these systems introduced in agriculture sector, their main aim is to pauperize, to spoil the agricultural farmers economically, socially, and psychologically because they are charged high taxes on agriculture sector. Before independence, lot of income come from agriculture sector itself. But nowadays, there is no taxes on agriculture sector in many states. In many states, as like Britishers, they have imposed. So feudalistic relation also it is there. It is one of the reason to low productivity of Indian agriculture. And coming to third one is rural indebtedness. Rural indebtedness. So after independence, the government of India has introduced or initiated cooperative credit societies and banking sectors to provide loan to agriculture farmers. But all the farmers they may not get agriculture credit from institutional banks or cooperative credit societies. Even now, certain small and marginal farmers, they are depends for the credit purpose. They are approaching in landlords and money lenders or other private peoples. They are charging high rate of interest. High rate of interest. So this type of situation also it led to certain farmers going into the debt trap. Debt trap. It has been continued generation after generation. Our forefathers they have taken loan from certain landlords. As a result, my family also have to work in the same landowner to repay particular loan which has taken earlier my father. Even that type of situation also it has been there under rural indebtedness. గ్రామీణ రుణగ్రస్తత అప్పులు వ్యవసాయ రంగంలో చిన్న సన్నకారు రైతుల యొక్క ఆదాయాలు పడిపోవడానికి గల కారణం రూరల్ ఇండెక్టెడ్నెస్ గ్రామీణ రుణగ్రస్తత. సో దేర్ ఫోర్ దేర్ ఈస్ ఎ సేయింగ్ ఇండియన్ ఫార్మర్స్ దేర్ ఆల్వేస్ born in debt, live in debt, finally died in debt. Arthur Lewis. Arthur Lewis is an economist. He has very rightly pointed out that భారతదేశం యొక్క రైతు అప్పుల్లో పుడుతున్నాడు, అప్పుల్లోనే జీవిస్తున్నాడు, అప్పుల్లోనే మరణిస్తున్నాడు. ఇండియన్ ఫార్మర్స్ they born in debt, live in debt, they died in debt. So this has been perpetual from generation to generation. Rural indebtedness it is a dangerous thing in rural economy. Then coming to dualism in labor market. Dualism in labor market. Generally, we can see because of pressure of agriculture labors on agriculture sector, the wages are very low. Because agriculture sector is a high number of population, high number of workers they depends on agriculture sector. Generally, the wages will be reduced when compared with the other sectors like industrial sector and service sector. So large number of workers are striking to agriculture sector only, even though the wages are low, but they are sticking to agriculture sector itself. So as they are ignored of better opportunities are outside, as they are ignored, they are the innocent, they are ignoring. There are a lot of better chances are which are available outside in industrial sector and service sector. If they move, but they are not, they are simply ignoring it. Agriculture sector is the only sector which can provide employment, which can provide food. So they think like that. They're thinking like that. Therefore, so dualism in labor market. Dualism in labor market means wages. Wages are generally it is very low in agriculture sector compared with the industrial and service sector. So that is then coming to diversities in agriculture sector. diversities in agriculture sector. So what type of diversities it is? Generally soil, magnitude of rainfall, irrigation facilities vary from region to region. Soil fertility, magnitude of rainfall and irrigation facilities, these are vary from area to area. Similarly, drought conditions, flood problems, all these things also, it is different from region to region. In the same way, elements like NKP, that is nitrogen, potash, phosphate and potash, these three using and application also, it is vary from, it differ from soil to soil. So this is the size of land holdings also, it is differ from village to village or area to area. So in this way, there are a lot of diversities in Indian agriculture sector. Indian agriculture sector. Soil fertility is different, irrigation facility is different, drought conditions are different. Okay, application of different fertilizers and pesticides also different, wages also different. In this way, diversities are very much there in agriculture sector. The last point is outmoded farming techniques. Outmoded farming techniques. Still, our Indian agriculture, majority of the farmers, they are using old type of techniques for plowing and sowing seeds and weeding some trees and even crushing, even harvesting. Old type of shekel, old type of techniques they are using. Even advent of green revolution also, certain farmers they are unable to use modern equipments. As a result, our Indian agriculture sector still it is practicing primitive techniques, old type of techniques. The traditional agriculture depends on human and manual and rain and cow dung. These are the main things which are using on agriculture sector. So this is all about features of Indian agriculture. There are nearly 7 important points. If you write these 7 important points, you will get 5 marks. So uncertainty of crop output, then feudalistic relation in agriculture, then rural indebtedness and dualism in agricultural market and diversities of agriculture sector, then coming to outmoded farming techniques. So if you see all these things, you will get 5 marks. So this is all about features of Indian agriculture. Okay. Then coming to another important question is agriculture labors. Agriculture labors are what are the conditions of agriculture labors in India? What are the conditions and the growth of agriculture labors? Why number of agriculture labor it has been increasing? All these things we have to discuss when it comes to the agricultural labors. Conditions of agricultural labor. Conditions of agricultural labor. Agriculture labor. So the number of people living in agriculture sector in underdeveloped countries like India, the number of people living in agriculture sector generally in underdeveloped countries very high, very high. Generally, unfortunately, these agriculture laborers they come from low caste, low caste, belongs to economically depressed and socially backward. They are generally belongs to economically depressed and socially backward. It is observed that number of people depends on agriculture sector for their livelihood. It is nearly 263 according to 2011. Unfortunately, so it is observed that number of people depends on agriculture sector for their livelihood. It is nearly estimated 263 millions according to 2011. 2011. And meaning of agriculture laborers. Who are the agriculture laborers? Agriculture laborers. Who are the agriculture laborers? There is a definition. Definition of AL. Agriculture labor. Definition of agriculture labor. People who works on agriculture sector for their survival can be treated as agriculture labor. Generally, the people who depends on agriculture sector for their survival, they can be treated as agriculture labor. Agriculture labor. So generally, there is a commissions that is the first agriculture labor inquiry. Agriculture labor inquiry commission. Inquiry commission 1951. 1951. They have defined that according to first agricultural labor inquiry commission during 1951. They have defined that the farmers who received more than 50% of income, the farmers who received income of more than 50% from agriculture sector, they can be treated as agriculture labor or farm labor or agriculture labor. So that is definition given by first agricultural labor inquiry committee during 1951. Then coming to 1971, the same committee, that is 1971. 1971 also they have defined that who have very small holdings and are compelled to generally ఇక్కడ చూస్తే the farm laborers who have receives more than 50% of income from agriculture sector, so they will be treated as agriculture labor. So 1951 labor inquiry commission, it has defined that people who depends on agriculture sector more than 50%, they will be treated as agriculture labor. But here it is whose incomes they are receiving more than 50% from agriculture sector, they will be treated as agriculture labor. These two definitions are differ from each one. So that is the definitions given by Agriculture Labor Inquiry Commission 51 and 71. Then coming to classification of agriculture labors. Agriculture labors also we can classify in three categories. Generally, small farmers and again tenants. First one is classification of small farmers, small farmers, tenants. Third one is sharecropper. Share sharecroppers. Small farmers, tenants, and sharecroppers. Who are the small farmers? We are talking in terms of classification of the agriculture farmers. We can classify the agriculture farmers. Casual workers. Under casual workers, we can see the small farmers. Small farmers means the persons who have small holdings, that is cultivable land. It is not sufficient for them. They can also engage on others agriculture fields also for their survival. They will be called as small farmers. They have less land. It is not sufficient for their existence. Sometimes they also engaged on others agricultural fields for earning purpose. So that is called farm laborers, small farmers. Then coming to tenants. Tenant means they don't have any land, but they can take land from others. Leased out. Leased, leased out. They can take land 2 acres from outside, from others, or 5 acres from others. They can take as a lease. They can start cultivation. So then another one is, third one is sharecroppers. Sharecroppers. Even sharecroppers also, they don't have land. They also take others' lands for cultivation purpose. But it should be distributed equally, the share in terms of investment. Even the tenant farmer, he may invest some 50% amount and the landowner may spend 50%. When it comes to the distribution of crop, 50-50. Owner will take 50% and the person who cultivate his land, he will enjoy the remaining 50%. So this is the way sharecroppers also there. So classification of agriculture labors we can divide like these three: small farmers, tenants, and sharecroppers. Sharecroppers. Okay. Then coming to conditions of agriculture labors. Generally, what type of conditions that the agriculture farmers generally they are facing, as we have to see. Generally, agriculture labors, growth of agriculture labors, growth of agriculture labor, growth of agriculture labor from 1951 to 2011. Under 1951, the agriculture farmers or agriculture laborers is nearly 27 millions. Where in terms of percentage, 28%. 28%. Whereas 2011, it has been increased to 54.9%. 54.9%. 54.9%. Whereas in millions, it is 144. 144.3. 144.3 millions. millions. If we talking in terms of percentage, 54.9%. So the agricultural labor, it has been increasing from 1951 to 2011. Only we are taking 2011 census, but recent data, if we see, the agricultural labors depends on nearly 58%. 58%. It may be. It may be. Then coming to why? What are the reasons agricultural labors it has been increasing? Because of high growth of population, rapid growth of population. That is one of the reason. Then coming to declining of village handicrafts, declining of village handicrafts, and again eviction of small farmers and tenants from land. Eviction also sometimes big farmers they are grabbing the land from small farmers and other tenants. It is eviction of land from small farmers. Then coming to uneconomic holding, the holding which is uneconomic, half an acre, half acre, so which is not sufficient for a family entire the year. It is a subsistence. It cannot survive. One family cannot survive if the land size is below 1 acre. Okay, uneconomic holding, which is not suitable for cultivation. Mechanization also cannot be possible. Then coming to incomes and wages are low. Income and indebtedness. Increasing indebtedness. Increasing indebtedness. Because of day by day in India, especially in rural areas, in poor families, as we have seen, indebtedness, as we have seen in the features of Indian agriculture, indebtedness day by day it has been increasing. Then coming to capitalistic agriculture, capitalistic agriculture. One single man coming from city, he can take whole of the land in a village. He can engage other people. He can invest whatever the products, crops they can take into market. So that is the situation. Capitalistic farming. Capitalistic farming. Capitalistic farming is the big threat to Indian agriculture. Indian agriculture. Very few people they can dominate Indian agriculture sector. Indian agriculture sector. So this is then coming to conditions of agriculture labor. Conditions. When it comes to the conditions of agriculture labors, conditions of agriculture labor, conditions of agriculture labor. First one is low social status. Low social, low social status. Generally, agriculture farmers they come from low caste, SC, ST, BC, and other low caste, low social and economic groups. They are come from low caste because they're always bottom of the that ladder, the development ladder. They're always seeking for work. Agriculture laborers, they are come from low caste. Then coming to unorganized, unorganized, unorganized. These agriculture farmers generally they come from they have they don't have any organizations. Unorganized, unorganized. Agriculture laborers have to face generally they are living in scattered villages, scattered villages, and also illiterates. Illiterates. As a result, they cannot organize together. They cannot organize. They are scattered in the same village. Here some village, some houses, somewhere some houses, scattering, and also ignorance and illiteracy. They are not organized. First one is low social status. They come from low economic and social status, unorganized. Then third one is seasonal unemployment. Seasonal seasonal unemployment. Seasonal unemployment. Generally, as we have seen, agriculture sector unemployment and underemployment. Unemployment and underemployment is prevail, and they are employed while sowing and harvesting time. Majority of the people they are employed during the sowing, విత్తనాలు చల్లే టైం అప్పుడు, అండ్ హార్వెస్టింగ్, కోతలు వరి నాటు కోసేటప్పుడు మాత్రమే. A remaining time they will be at home as a unemployed, as an unemployed. So this is the situation. Seasonal unemployment very much there among agricultural laborers. Agricultural laborers. Then coming to low wages and incomes. Low wages, wages and low wages and incomes. Generally, in agriculture sector, their wages are low because of low level of incomes. Agricultural laborers generally seek debt. In agriculture sector, generally their wages are always low compared with other sectors. When their wages are low, their incomes also automatically low. They seek debt because their family needs day by day it has been increasing. Family members they demands, they wants many things, but their income is less. Their wants are always more. So in order to meet all the family members needs, begin with small children, middle age, young age, and old people. To meet all their needs for a family, it needs more money. But their wages in agriculture sector are low. So they have to go for lending money from others. So as a result, debt will be there, debt trap, low level of wages. Then coming to rural indebtedness. Rural indebtedness. Rural rural indebtedness. Rural indebtedness. So generally, rural indebtedness because of the low level of income, agriculture laborers they go for debt for the reasons of extreme poverty. Because of they are under extreme poverty, extreme poverty. They are not in the position of any security from government or from any individuals. Hence, it is inevitable to go a part of agriculture laborers to resort on non-institutional lending from agricultural farmers, that is landowners or money lenders, take money from other purposes, not for agriculture purpose, not for productive purpose. Majority of the money they lend for the unproductive purposes, for medical, for education purpose, for marriage, or for functions in a family. To meet all this, they are taking money from other people, other people. Then again, feminization of agriculture. Feminization. Feminization of feminization of agriculture. Feminization of agriculture. Generally, in agriculture sector, if we see female workers engaged more than male workers. male workers. But generally, when it comes to the wages, it is very low. Wages are low. So therefore, feminization is there. Majority of the female members enter the season in an agricultural season. Female workers they engage more, but wages are always low. Then coming to high incidence of child labors. High incidence of child labor. High incidence of child labor. High incidence of child labors. Generally, we can see in Indian agriculture sector, it is estimated one third of the child labors depends on agriculture sector in Asia. One third of the child labors in Asia, majority from India. Majority from in India. The largest number of child workers are engaged in agriculture sector. The largest number of agriculture children sector depends on child labors. Child labors. With the child labors, all the agriculture owners they can go get more benefits. When it comes to the michi and cotton and all other crops, certain crops child labors requires more. They can do work fast. Even in Markapuram, if we see that in the industry of slates, majority of the child labors they will be engaged. In Sivakasi, Tamil Nadu, even child labors are engaging more. So all these situations, these are the conditions of agricultural labors. They come from low caste, and also unorganized. And sometimes it is seasonal unemployment. Incomes are low, wages are low, indebtedness will be there, feminization is there, and again high incidence of child labors. So, what are the remedial measures? What are the measures to improve agriculture labor's situation or conditions? So, generally, we have to see improvement, improving the conditions of agriculture labors. Improving the conditions of agriculture labors. How to improve? Generally, for that, there is a it should be implemented minimum wages act. Minimum wages act. Minimum wages act. Implemented minimum wages act. So this minimum wages act it is very important. Wages should be increased for every 3 years. In India, except Karnataka, UP, and Punjab, all other states, the wages in agriculture sector generally it is low. It is low. So wages must be increased. In industrial sector, wages are always it has been increasing, but in agriculture sector, wages are very constant. There is no demand from agriculture laborers because they are unorganized. If they are organized like APSRTC and other employees, if they have some associations, they may demand, but they are unorganized. They don't have education. They are simply ignoring. Ignorancy, all those things are there. That is a major difference. So minimum wages act should be implemented. Then again, providing land for landless. Providing land for landless. Providing land for landless. Agriculture farmers generally they don't have land. to cultivate. If they could have land, they can cultivate more. They can live like others. They don't have land. So providing land for landless. Imposing on ceiling on major land holdings and abolition of land holdings, redistributing that land to the landless. Government can do. So for that reason, land reforms issue has been came into existence. Land reforms were brought to redistribute of surplus land for the landless, for their economic, improving their socio-economic conditions. Socio-economic conditions. Then coming to provision of house sites. Provision of house sites. Provision of house provision of house sites and houses. Government sometimes it should be focus on poor people or agricultural workers, agricultural laborers to provide land site. Not only land site, but also it should be completed houses also. Houses also. Pitco houses. Nowadays, it is very important issue which is going in the state of Andhra Pradesh. House sites. It is a dream for the poor people. If you have own house, it is a dream. Even poor people also they have dream when I will have my own house. When the government will support. Government support. So that reason provision of house sites is very important thing. Then coming to special schemes for agriculture farmers should be implemented for time being. And also abolition of child labors. Abolition of child labors is very very important thing. Then coming to development of cottage industries. Development of cottage industries also it should be developed. Then only the dependence on agriculture sector it should be reduced. Otherwise, the agriculture sector depends on agriculture sector will be higher. So it should be development of cottage and other industries. MSME, micro, small and medium industries. Nowadays, they are providing lot of employment opportunities. So government should take necessary steps to provide employment opportunity for agricultural laborers also. The percentage should be reduced. They should shift from agriculture sector to other sectors. Then only the economic and socio-economic conditions of agriculture labor should be improved. Should be improved. So in this class, only two topics that we have seen, that is the features of Indian agriculture, 7 important points, and also what are the agriculture labors? Agriculture labors. Who are the agriculture labors? What is the definitions given by agriculture labors? What is the growth of agriculture labors? And what are the conditions of agriculture labors? How to improve the conditions of agriculture labors also that we have seen. So, if time permit, in next class we have to see land utilization and what are the factors affecting cropping pattern in India. Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you very much.